My London Language Leap, A Journey to English Confidence. Introduction. Imagine you get off a plane in a busy city. New words fly around you like a song you don't know. For me, that city was London, and that song was English. I felt happy, but also a little scared. The world seemed huge and my words seemed very small. Lots of people were talking, laughing, and living, and I wanted to be part of it, to really talk to them. But the language felt like a wall. This book comes from that feeling. It's about the exciting, sometimes hard, but always changing journey of learning English, especially when you are in a new place like London. We all know learning a new language is hard. It takes time, work, and sometimes being very brave. But we also think it's one of the best adventures. It opens up new places, new friends, and new chances. And the most important thing for this change is confidence in learning languages. What is confidence in learning languages? It's the good feeling you get inside when you try to speak English. It's not just knowing many words or using perfect grammar. It's feeling brave enough to open your mouth and talk, even if you might make a mistake. It's knowing that mistakes are not bad, but a normal, important part of getting better each day. This book wants to help you grow that confidence. We will find easy ways to make it bigger, especially by using English in real life, like I did in London. So, how do we go from feeling shy to feeling sure? This book has a simple plan. We will learn daily things you can do, no matter where you are. You will find ways to make every talk, every bit of talking you hear, a step to understanding more and, in turn, having more confidence in learning languages. We will learn how to listen better, how to practice talking without fear, and how to use being in a place where people speak English. We believe that enjoying the trip, the mistakes, the big steps forward, the times you don't understand and the times you do is as important as the end. And through it all, we have one main goal: to build your confidence in learning languages. If you have ever felt a little shy when speaking English, if you wish you could talk more deeply with people, or if you are just ready to make your language skills better, then this book is for you. It is for anyone who wants to feel more sure and able when speaking English. Think of this as your invitation to start your own London language jump. Let's build your confidence in learning languages, one step, one talk, one good idea at a time. Are you ready to jump? Let's start. 1. Starting my English journey. When I first walked onto the busy streets of London, I felt a mix of happy and scared. Everything was new. The buses were tall and red. People spoke very fast. I held my little book of phrases like a shield. I wanted to speak English well. I wanted to understand and be understood. But standing there, it felt like a very big job. My English learning really began here, not in a classroom, but on this noisy street. I felt small and new. It's easy to think learning a language means knowing all the words and rules. But I knew very few words when I started. What I did have was a strong wish to learn and a good reason to be in London. I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to see this great city. I wanted to feel like I fit in. This strong wish to talk is a powerful way to learn. It's the first light that shows you the way. Thinking back to those first moments, I felt like a child again. Everything was a surprise. Even small jobs felt hard. Asking for tea, asking for the way, or just saying hello took a lot of thought. It's good to remember this feeling of being new. It's not a bad thing. It means you are open and ready to learn. The biggest problem for me was not the English language. It was my own mind telling me I wasn't ready, that I would make too many mistakes. Many people feel this way. We need to gently push these thoughts away. The most important thing I did was to just try. I didn't wait until I knew more. I didn't wait until I felt ready. I knew if I waited for perfect, I would never start. So, my very first real step was trying to buy a newspaper. I went into a small shop. I took a deep breath. I pointed to the newspaper I wanted. I managed to say, "This one, please." The shopkeeper smiled and said something I didn't fully get, but I nodded and gave him the money. It was a very short talk, maybe 10 seconds, but it felt like a huge win. It wasn't perfect. I probably sounded strange, but the feeling was amazing. I felt like I was doing something. I took action. That's the most important part of starting. It was a small, shaky step to build my confidence in learning English. Feeling like a beginner can be a little scary. You might worry about sounding silly. You might worry about not being understood. You might worry about upsetting someone by mistake. I certainly did. My mind would race. What if I say it wrong? What if they laugh? What if I don't understand their answer? These thoughts are loud. They can stop you before you even speak. For me, the way to handle this was to change what I was thinking about. Instead of thinking about all the ways I could fail, I started thinking about all the ways I could learn. I began to see mistakes as lessons, not as failures. When I said something wrong and someone corrected me, I tried to see it as a gift of knowledge. It was information that helped me get better. I told myself that everyone who speaks English well once made mistakes too. They were beginners like me. So, when I felt shy, I would tell myself, it's okay to be a beginner. It's okay to make mistakes. The important thing is that I am trying. This simple thought, said often, helped quiet my fear. It made me feel brave enough to speak, even when my voice shook a little. This is the heart of confidence in learning a language. Believing you can learn and that mistakes are your teachers. London itself became my school. Every bus ride, every walk in the park, every visit to a shop was a chance to learn. I started by listening. I would sit on a bench and just listen to people talk. I would try to hear words I knew. I watched how people talked to each other. I learned a lot just by watching and taking it all in. Then I started using simple phrases. Thank you, excuse me, can I have these were my building blocks. I didn't try to have long talks at first. I focused on doing these small, polite things well. It's important to have real expectations when you start. Learning a language is a long race, not a short sprint. There will be days when you feel you are learning a lot. There will be days when you feel you have forgotten everything. This is normal. Don't get sad. The path to feeling confident in English is not about being perfect from the start. It's about being steady and not giving up. It's about knowing that some days will be easier than others, and that's okay. My reason for being in London was a big help. I wanted to see the city, meet new people, and live in a different culture. This personal drive gave me strength when things were hard. When I couldn't understand something, or when I felt shy about a mistake, I would think about why I was here. I would remember the dreams I had for myself in this new place. This why is like fuel for your learning. It keeps you going when the road is tough. So, what does starting look like in a place like London? It means being brave enough to join in, even in small ways. It means using the English you have, no matter how little you think it is. It means ordering your coffee with a smile and saying, "Can I have a latte, please?" Even if you mix up the words. It means asking for directions using hands and a few key words if you are lost. It means trying to read signs and simple notices. It means being present and open to the language all around you. These small, everyday talks are the base on which you build your confidence. They show you that you can talk to people, that you can find your way in your new place, and that you can learn. Each small talk that goes well builds a little more confidence in learning English, making the next talk just a bit easier. The first step, the one that feels most unsure, is often the hardest. But once you take it, the way forward becomes clear. You start to see that the fear was bigger than what really happened. You begin to understand that people are usually kind and want to help. You realize that when you try to speak their language, they often appreciate it. This is the magic of starting. It opens up many possibilities that stay closed if you stay safe by not trying. Taking that first step, even with a shaky voice and a few wrong words, is the most important part of the journey. Once you've started, the next challenge is to keep learning every day. So, how do we turn these first brave moments into a daily habit that leads to real progress? 2. Living in London. Living in London felt like being on a stage where everyone spoke English, and I had to learn my lines fast. Before I came, I studied words and rules from books and apps. That was like learning the notes of a song. But London, that's where the real music started, with all its energy, its beat, and yes, its times when things didn't sound quite right. London is more than just a city. It's a living, breathing place to learn language. Everywhere you go, people are talking, shouting, laughing, explaining. English fills the air. Think about it. The voices on the train, the friendly talk with the person in the shop, the quick hello to your neighbor. Each of these small moments is a chance to listen and to speak. It's like being put in a swimming pool when you've only ever seen the water. You have to move, you have to try, or you just float. And in London, you can't really just float. You have to jump in. This constant being around the language makes learning real. It's not about remembering lists of words anymore. It's about needing to ask for directions when you're lost in streets that feel like a maze. It's about understanding the menu at a cafe so you can order the food you like. It's about figuring out the fast talk of Londoners to get a joke or understand a warning. These are the times that push you. They make you use the English you know and learn new English right away. It's very easy, especially at the start, to stay in what I call the tourist bubble. You find places where people speak your language, or where they expect you to be a tourist and speak slowly. But the real wonder, the real boost to your language learning confidence, happens when you break that bubble. It's about walking into a small bookshop and trying to ask the owner for a suggestion, even if you say the word's wrong. It's about going to a local market, not just to look, but to try and buy something, to ask about the price, or to say the fruit looks good. These aren't big, planned events. They are just everyday life. And by choosing to be part of that everyday life, you are choosing to learn. London also opened my ears to the amazing different ways English is spoken. It's not just one sound. You hear accents from all over the UK and from people whose first language isn't English, but who have made London their home. This can be a little confusing at first. I remember standing outside a busy market stall, trying to understand the seller. He had a fast, sharp accent that was hard to follow. I felt a familiar feeling of worry, that feeling of being lost in a lot of sounds. Would I be able to buy the apples I wanted? This is where needing to know kicks in, and it's a surprisingly good helper. The fear of not being understood, of missing something important, is often stronger than the fear of making a mistake. I wanted those apples, and I really wanted to understand what the seller was saying. So, I took a deep breath. I listened very carefully. And when he spoke again, I heard a few words I knew. I nodded, pointed to the apples, and said, £2, please. He smiled, a real, warm smile, and said, "That's right, love." In that moment, it wasn't about perfect grammar. It was about connecting. It was about being understood. And that feeling? That's pure language learning confidence. It's the quiet hum of success that tells you, I can do this. I remember one afternoon, I was trying to get to a friend's house in a part of London I'd never been to. My phone had run out of power and I'd missed my bus. I was standing on a street corner, feeling a bit lost. I knew I needed to ask for directions, but the thought of stopping a busy person and asking them to explain something tricky made my stomach hurt. I saw people rushing past, all looking important and busy. Then, I noticed an older lady walking slowly, carrying a shopping bag. She looked kind. I walked up to her and, with my heart beating a little faster, I said, "Excuse me, please. Can you help me?" She stopped and turned, her eyes kind. "Of course, dear," she replied. I explained, as best I could, where I was trying to go. I used simple words, pointing vaguely in the direction I thought I should go. She listened without hurrying. Then she didn't just point. She said, "Go down this street, then turn left at the big red post box. You can't miss it. Then, it's the third house on your right. It has blue flowers in the window." She even walked with me for a few steps to show me the post box. That moment was a big change. It wasn't just about getting directions. It was about the kindness of a stranger and how my simple English had been enough to connect with her. And get that kindness? It showed me that people are often willing to help if you just try. They don't expect perfect English. They expect you to try to talk. And that willingness to try, that simple act of asking, is the very start of language learning confidence. It's the belief that your voice matters, even if it's not smooth. Living in London also meant hearing British slang and sayings. At first, phrases like "fancy a cuppa" or "it's a bit of a faff" just sounded like noise. I'd nod and smile, hoping I hadn't agreed to something strange. But little by little, by listening and asking, these colorful bits of language started to make sense. They weren't just words, they were like windows into how people think and feel. Understanding that a bit of a faff means something is a bit of a bother, or that "fancy a cuppa" is a friendly invitation for tea, made me feel more connected to the people around me. It felt like I was starting to understand the private jokes of the city. The small ways people act are interesting too. Learning to understand the quiet politeness, the dry humor, the way people wait their turn patiently for everything. These aren't things you find in a book. They are learned by being there, by watching, and by joining in. You learn when to say please and thank you so many times in a day that it becomes normal. You learn to say sorry even when it's not your fault, just to be nice. These small acts of understanding the culture mixed into how you use language build a different kind of confidence, the confidence of belonging, of fitting in, even just a little bit. One evening, I was at a small local event. People were chatting, and I found myself talking to a woman named Sarah. She was telling me about her job as a gardener. She used many wonderful, descriptive words, and she spoke quite fast. At one point, she said, "Oh, the roses were absolutely going for it this year." I stopped. "Going for it?" I asked, trying to keep my face neutral. Sarah laughed. "Yes," she said, "just blooming wonderfully. So strong and healthy." She saw I was confused and explained, "It means they were really growing well, you know." Showing off. That simple explanation was like a light turning on. It wasn't just about the roses. It was about understanding a common, informal way of showing excitement. Because she took the time to explain, and because I had the courage to ask, I learned something new. This is the heart of language learning confidence working. It's not just about being able to speak. It's about feeling safe enough to say you don't understand and knowing that people will be understanding, not critical. It's about how communication works both ways. You try your best, and others often give you their best help. So, while London is a great place to learn, it's not magic. You have to actively participate. You have to step out of what feels easy and safe. You have to choose to speak, even when it feels hard. Every time you do, you are adding another block to the strong wall of your language learning confidence. You are proving to yourself that you can manage in this new world, one conversation at a time. The city itself provides the stage, but you are the actor who must step forward and say your lines, however imperfectly at first. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes, and the more you realize that the biggest problem was never the language itself, but the fear inside your own head. And London, in its own loud, busy, and sometimes messy way, is the perfect place to learn how to quiet that fear and let your voice be heard. The lively energy of London offers an amazing place for learning, but actively looking for chances to practice and connect with people is important. The next step is to explore how to intentionally create these practice chances, even when you are not directly in London. 3. Tips for language learners. Learning a new language, especially English, can seem like a very big hill to climb. But picture yourself at the bottom, looking up. You have a map and good shoes. This part of the book is here to give you those shoes and that map. We will talk about easy things you can do. Small steps will help you feel much better and more sure of yourself. It's okay not to be perfect. The goal is to get a little better each day with a smile. Easy ways to learn English. Let's start with something very simple but very strong. Doing a little bit often. Think of it like taking care of a plant. A small amount of water every day helps it grow strong. A lot of water just once a week is not as good. It's the same for your English. Instead of trying to study for many hours, which can be tiring and too much, try to spend just 15 to 30 minutes each day with English. You could listen to a short radio show while you make breakfast. You could practice saying new words in a mirror. Or you could write down 3 new sentences you learned. This works because your brain needs time to get used to new things. When you practice a little each day, you keep reminding your brain about English. This makes it feel more familiar. When something feels familiar, it feels less scary. This is the first secret to feeling good about learning English. It's not about knowing everything. It's about feeling good with what you know and being okay with learning more. When you try a little each day, you build a habit. Habits are steady. Steady progress makes you feel more sure of yourself. You start to believe you can learn because you are learning, even in small ways. Now let's talk about listening. Listening is like a special power for learning English. When you listen well, you start to hear how people who speak English as their first language put words together. You hear how their voice goes up and down. You hear what words they use the most. It's not only about understanding every single word. It's about catching the flow, the music of the language. So, how can you make listening your special power? There are many fun ways. You could watch TV shows or movies from England. At first, maybe with English words on the screen. Then try without them. Listen to radio stations from London. Or find radio shows about things you like. There are radio shows about everything now. Even just sitting in a busy cafe in London and letting the sounds of people talking around you wash over. You can help. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just try to find words you know, or guess what people are talking about from how they sound. Listening carefully helps you feel much more sure of yourself. When you understand more of what people say, you feel more ready to answer. You start to pick up natural ways of speaking that you can use yourself. It's like learning to dance by watching good dancers. You see their moves, you feel the music, and then you can try to copy them. The better you are at understanding, the less likely you are to feel lost when someone talks to you. Feeling not lost is a big help for feeling good about learning English. You feel more sure because you know you can follow along, and that makes you more ready to speak. Let's talk about something that can feel a bit scary, but is actually very important. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Everyone who has ever learned a new language has made many mistakes. I certainly did. I remember trying to ask for directions in a shop and using the wrong word. The person in the shop looked confused and I felt my face get hot. But then they kindly showed me the right word and I learned it. That mistake helped me. It didn't hurt me. Mistakes are not a sign that you are bad at learning. They are a sign that you are trying. They are like small signs telling you where you need to pay a little more attention. If you say a word wrong, try saying it again, maybe slower. If you use the wrong grammar, don't just forget it. Try to write down what you said and then find the right way. The real danger to feeling good about learning English is not making mistakes. It's being so afraid of making them that you don't speak at all. When you change your thought from "oh no, I might make a mistake" to "great, I have a chance to learn something new," everything changes. You become brave. You feel more sure because you know that even if you slip up, you can get back up and learn from it. This is the heart of feeling good about learning English. Believing you can handle errors and knowing they are part of the journey, not the end. It's about being strong like a ball that always bounces back up. Learning a language can feel like a journey by yourself, but it doesn't have to be. Finding someone to talk to or joining a group to practice can make a big difference. Having someone to talk to often means you have to practice. You are more likely to practice if you know someone is waiting to talk with you. More importantly, it gives you a safe place. This is a place where you can try new words and sentences without worrying about others judging you. In London, there are many places where people meet to practice languages. You can find people who want to learn your language, and you can help them while they help you with English. Or, if you have a friend who is also learning, or even a kind friend who speaks English well, ask them if you can practice with them. You can set simple goals, like talking for 20 minutes about your weekend, or talking about a book you are reading. The help for feeling good about learning English is huge. Practicing with another person takes away the fear of talking to people you don't know well. You build a connection, and that person becomes someone who supports your learning. They can gently correct you, or they can tell you to keep going. This shared experience makes you feel less alone and more capable. Knowing you have someone on your side, cheering for you, makes you feel more sure about trying to speak. You know you have help, and that help makes you brave enough to try. Finally, let's talk about using London itself as your classroom. This is maybe the most exciting tip. The city has many chances to practice your English every single day. Don't just stay inside with your books. Go out and use the language. Think about all the small times you talk to people. When you go to a cafe, try ordering your coffee in English. Ask the person making your coffee how their day is. When you are on the train, listen to the announcements. If you need to ask for directions, do it. Go into a shop and ask about something. Even just saying thank you and goodbye to people you talk to is practice. These real-life moments are very valuable. Why is this so good for feeling good about learning English? Because it's real. It's not just about remembering words. It's about using them to do things in the real world. When you successfully order a coffee or understand directions, you feel a real sense of success. These small successes add up. They show you that you can talk to people. You start to feel sure that you can handle everyday situations. You see that English is not just something you study, it's a tool you can use to live your life in London. Using it in real life makes you feel strong and able. It makes you feel good about your English skills. So to remember, practice a little each day. Make listening your special power. Don't be afraid of mistakes, because they are your teachers. Find a friend to practice with, and use the amazing city of London as your place to play. These are the main things. They are the tools that will help you feel more comfortable and able. Now let's think more about how all this works together. How does actively looking for and learning from mistakes, instead of staying away from them, help you feel more confident when speaking a new language like English? It's a bit like learning to ride a bike. You move unsteadily, you might fall, but each time you get up, you learn to balance a little better. If you were too scared to even get on the bike, you would never learn to ride. In language, when you make a mistake, your brain notices it. It's a signal. If you ignore it or feel ashamed, the signal is lost. But if you notice it, understand it, and try to fix it, your brain learns. This process of noticing, understanding, and fixing is how your brain builds new pathways. The more you do this, the better your brain becomes at using English correctly. This skill, this growing ability to handle the language, directly leads to feeling more sure of yourself. You are less afraid because you know you have a way to learn and get better. You feel more confident because you are actively becoming more skilled. It's a circle. Trying leads to mistakes, mistakes lead to learning, learning leads to getting better, and getting better leads to confidence. And beyond just listening, what specific active listening steps can someone take to understand spoken English better, and how do these steps help them speak with more confidence? It's not just about hearing sounds. Active listening means using your brain. Try listening for specific things. For example, listen for the word very and how often people use it. Or listen for common phrases like how are you doing? Or no problem. You can also try to guess what the speaker will say next. If someone is talking about their holiday, you can guess they might say where they went or what they did. Another step is to listen for the main idea. Don't get stuck on words you don't know. Ask yourself, what is the main point here? After listening to a short piece, try to say it again in your own words, even if it's just one or two sentences. This process of actively looking for meaning, guessing, and summarizing makes your brain work harder with the English sounds. When you do this often, you become much better at understanding conversations. This better understanding means you are less likely to be surprised when someone talks to you. You can follow the conversation more easily, which makes you feel more sure and ready to answer. This, in turn, allows you to speak with more confidence, knowing you understood what was said. These real-life tips are the main parts of your English learning journey, but true confidence comes from understanding why you are learning and enjoying the unique experience of living and speaking in a new place. In the next part, we will look at how to connect your personal reasons for learning with the exciting life in London to truly make a big step forward in your language skills. 4. Building confidence to speak. The sound of London. It's a sound that buzzes, a gentle reminder that you are surrounded by many voices, many stories happening all at once. At first, this sound might seem like a mix of notes, too fast, too hard to understand. And when you want to add your own voice, your own small song, your stomach might feel tight. You want to speak, but your tongue feels stuck, your mind goes empty, and the words don't come out. This is where the real adventure starts, not just learning English, but learning to believe in yourself enough to use it. Many people arrive in a new place, especially a busy city like London, with many words and rules in their head, like a well-packed bag. They know how to say things in theory. They can put words in the right order in their minds, remember little words like in or on, and spell difficult words. But then, someone asks a simple question, or they need to ask for something, and that packed bag feels too heavy. The fear of making a mistake is like a big shadow, making them doubt. Will they understand me? Will I sound funny? Will I say something very wrong and feel embarrassed? This fear is very common, very human. It doesn't mean you are a bad learner, it means you want to talk well. In London, you will meet people from all over the world, all speaking English in their own special ways. And guess what? Most of them are not looking for your mistakes. They are listening for you. They want to understand what you want to say to connect with you. This is the first, most important thing to remember. People are usually kind and patient. They see the effort you are making. The biggest problem, the one that stops many people, is not knowing enough. It's the voice inside that says you are not ready, that you must be perfect before you can even try. You need to learn to quiet that voice. So how do we start speaking? Really speaking, and build that important language learning confidence? It's not about becoming a great speaker suddenly. It's about taking small, brave steps. Think of it like learning to swim. You don't jump into the deep water on your first day. You start in the shallow water, feeling the warmth, getting used to it. Your first moments speaking English can be like that. Imagine you are in a small shop in London buying bread. Instead of just pointing, try saying hello. And then, 1 loaf of bread, please. It's a very simple exchange, right? But you have just spoken. You used English to get something you need. The shopkeeper smiles and says, "Here you go." You finished your purchase, you talked, and it went well. That small success, that tiny moment, is like adding a drop of water to your confidence. Each time you do something similar, asking for the time, saying thank you to the bus driver, asking how much is this, you add another drop. These small moments might seem unimportant, but they are building blocks. They show you that you can do it, that your words have power, and that people understand you. And what happens when you do make a mistake? Let's say you are asking for directions and you say left when you mean right. The person you ask might look confused for a moment. Then they will probably say, "Oh, you mean to the right?" And you can quickly fix it out. "Yes, right." No big problem. In fact, in that moment of fixing, you learned something. You heard the correct word, you understood your mistake, and you practiced saying the correct word. Mistakes are not bad. They are teachers in disguise. They show you exactly where you can get better. If we waited until we were perfect to speak, we would never speak. The goal is not being perfect. It's getting better. It's about getting a little better every single day. London itself is your biggest classroom, and its streets have many chances to practice. Think about your daily life. You will buy coffee, use buses and trains, maybe visit a museum or a park. Each of these is a chance to practice. When you order your morning coffee, don't just point at the menu. Try to say the name of the drink. If you are not sure, you can always ask, "Could you spell that for me, please?" Or, "What is this?" The London Underground is very busy. Instead of staying quiet when you need to ask someone to move, try saying politely, "Excuse me, could I get past, please?" These are not difficult sentences, but they are real, useful English that you will need. And the more you use them, the more natural they become. There is a saying, "Pretend until you do it." In learning a language, it's not about pretending to be someone else, but about showing you are ready to communicate. When you stand tall, look people in the eye, and speak clearly, even if your voice shakes a little, you are sending a message that you want to be understood. You are showing confidence, even if you don't feel it inside yet. This outward confidence can help build your inner confidence. It's like putting on a brave face. The more you do it, the more real it starts to feel. So, even if you feel a bit nervous, try to speak with a smile and a clear voice. It makes a big difference. Let me tell you about a moment from my own journey. I remember being in a small bakery in Notting Hill, the air smelling of fresh bread and sweet cakes. I wanted a specific cake, a beautiful Victoria sponge. I knew the word for cake, and I knew the name it was named after. But when the baker, a kind woman with flour on her apron, asked me what I wanted, my mind went completely blank. All I could think was cake, cake, cake. I said I want the queen cake. She smiled, a warm, understanding smile. "Ah, the Victoria sponge, you mean?" she said kindly. And then, I felt a wave of relief and a spark of something new. I managed, my voice a little shaky but clear. "Victoria sponge. Thank you." She gave me the cake, and as I paid, I felt a little taller. It wasn't a perfect sentence, not at all. But I had communicated. I had asked, I had been understood, and I had corrected myself with help. That small moment, that feeling of being seen and understood, was a huge boost. It wasn't about the cake. It was about connecting my thoughts to the world around me, one wobbly word at a time. The mental barrier that stops us from speaking is often the fear of being judged. We imagine a group of English experts scoring our every word. But in real life, especially in a diverse city like London, people are not experts judging you. They are other humans trying to connect. To break down this fear, we need to change how we think. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, focus on what could go right. What new friend might you meet? What interesting information might you learn? What delicious food might you find? Every conversation is a chance. The key is to make these everyday moments your practice area. Think about the simple act of buying a ticket at a train station. Instead of just giving money and taking the ticket, try a little more. A return ticket to Brighton, please. If you are not sure about the price, how much is that? If you need to know the platform, which platform does the train to Brighton leave from? These are small phrases, but they are the building blocks of confident talking. You can even practice them before you go. Say them out loud to yourself, in the mirror, to your pet, to your reflection in a window. The more you hear yourself say the words, the more comfortable they will feel when you say them to another person. Another strong way to improve is to find a language partner. This could be another learner, or even someone who speaks English well and wants to learn your language. You can meet online or in person, maybe at a language exchange event in London. These exchanges are great because they are made for learning together. You can help each other, laugh at mistakes together, and celebrate small wins. It's a safe place to try things. You can try out new phrases, ask for explanations, and really focus on understanding each other without the pressure of a formal test. The pretend until you do it way of thinking, when used with honesty and a desire to learn, is about showing a positive attitude towards talking. It's about showing up, ready to try. If you look lost and unsure, people might be less likely to come to you or offer help. But if you go to them with a smile and a clear, even if hesitant, question, you invite them to talk to you. This active approach is very powerful. It's not about being dishonest. It's about being brave. It's about telling yourself, I am here to learn and to connect, and I will try my best. In the end, building the confidence to speak English in London is a journey of 1,000 small steps. It's about understanding that mistakes are not failures, but chances to learn. It's about using the amazing variety and constant talking that this city offers. It's about choosing courage over comfort and getting better over being perfect. Every time you open your mouth and speak, you are taking a jump. And with every jump, you get a little closer to feeling truly at home in your new language. While the courage to speak is the power for your language journey, understanding what you hear is the energy that keeps it going. Once you have built the confidence to speak, the next important step is to truly train your ear to the rhythm and details of English spoken naturally. This leads us to learning how to listen well. Conclusion. And so we come to the end of our time together with my London Language Leap. You opened this book wanting to learn English. You wanted to feel better when you spoke. Maybe you also wanted to feel the wonder of a new place, like I did in London. By reading this book, you have already done a lot. You learned ways to learn, thought about new ideas, and decided to make your own language leap. Do you remember the main idea? Learning English, especially when you are in a place where it's spoken, is more than just words. It changes your life. You have been on this path with me. My 5 months in London were full of learning, in schools and on the streets. It was hard, but it was also very good. This book shares what I learned. All through this book, one idea has been our guide. Feeling confident learning a language. It doesn't mean you have to speak perfectly from the start. It doesn't mean you must know every single grammar rule. Real confidence in learning a language means you are brave enough to speak. It means you keep trying even if you make a mistake. It means you feel happy connecting with others, even if you don't say things perfectly. We talked about making English a part of your day. These are small, regular things you do. Every time you choose to speak, to listen, or to read, you make your confidence stronger. Remember how we said mistakes are not bad, but steps forward. Each time you don't let a mistake stop you, your confidence gets stronger. Getting better at listening helps you understand more. It also helps you feel more sure in talking with people, which makes your speaking confidence grow. Even if you are not living in London, you can enjoy the world around you through movies, music, or groups of people. This helps you feel more connected and comfortable using English. Think of confidence like a small plant. Every time you practice, every talk you have, every time you do something a little scary, it's like giving the plant water. It might seem small at first, but if you keep taking care of it, it will grow into something beautiful and strong. Our main goal has always been to help you feel ready and excited to speak, because speaking is where the real magic happens. It's where you make friends, find chances, and your world gets bigger. So, what happens now? Your journey is not over. In fact, your most exciting part is starting now. You now have useful ideas. And more importantly, you believe in yourself more. You can keep making your English confidence grow. Keep practicing every day. Keep listening carefully. Keep doing things that are a little outside what you usually do. Try new ways to use English. Join a group to talk, watch a new show, or find someone to practice with. Remember, it's a journey, not a race. Be happy for every small win. Every new word you understand, every sentence you say, every talk that goes well shows how far you have come. The good things from this journey are huge. Think about the new doors that will open. New friends, good job chances, understanding the world better, and the simple joy of talking with others. This is the life-changing power we talked about. You can do it. You have the tools. You have the courage. Go out and make your London language leap happen, no matter where you are. Believe you can learn, believe in your progress, and most of all, believe in yourself. It was a real joy to share this journey with you. I truly hope this book has been a helpful friend on your way to speaking English well and feeling confident. I wish you the very best as you keep growing, exploring, and connecting through the beautiful language of English. With kind thoughts, the London Learner,